Hello, everybody on the internet watching, and welcome to another Week 8 game here in the Totally Normal Football League, the first of our two over-there divisional games. We're here in San Francisco as the Shitbirds welcome rivals, the Seattle Beefers, to town. And the Beefers have won the opening coin toss, have chosen to defer. The Beefers on a 3-game winning streak right now, on a huge tear, and that all started with a big upset against the Janitors a couple of weeks ago. And if their outlook continues, they might even challenge the Janitors for that #1 spot should the Janitors falter later tonight. That is kick returner Justin Threadbare returning down the middle of the field, and the ball's loose. The Beefers pick it up, and a disastrous start for the Shitbirds. Oh my goodness! Justin Threadbare fumbles on the stiff tackle. We'll go fast forward here. There we go. Fast forward here. We'll see who got the initial tackle. That's number 10. That's Edgar Stormcount getting a huge special teams play picked up by cornerback Charles Author. Wow. A terrible start for the Shitbirds that apparently all their luck was shot after their insane victory against the Stoats last week. That's Marcoby Getmore running it up the middle for 8 yards. I was going to spend basically the entire first quarter of this game basically telling you, after you were done watching tonight's doubleheader live on Twitch here, you have to go back and watch that Shitbirds-Stoats game that happened last week. But enough of that. Ash McEnroe and the Seattle Beefers are at the 9-yard line of the Shitbirds after that 9-yard run. Marcoby Getmore on a draw for the first down to the 7. And this is very reminiscent on how the Shitbirds game against the Gators a couple of weeks ago went. Although the Shitbirds have a positive 4-3 record, they have the second worst point differential thanks to 2 humongous beatings they received at the hands of the Shitbirds, and it's, man, Akenroe has to fall on it. Jamaho Tungatung didn't want any of Marcoby Getmore there, and he punched the ball out. And unfortunately, he was the only defender on the run stop. And Ash McEnroe, great awareness there, fell on the ball, but that could have been going the other way, depending on the defensive play call. Beefers maintain possession, pushed back to the 12, as it's going to be another draw play to Marcoby Getmore. But yeah, this is very reminiscent on how the Gators started beating on the Shitbirds. However, that opening fumble was returned for a touchdown, so thankfully they avoided that. 3rd and goal for Ash McEnroe at the 12-yard line of the Shitbirds in the shotgun, looking for somebody open. Shitbirds send only 3. McEnroe throwing out of the pocket, and that was almost complete to Courtney Grumble, but Jamaha Otungatung, who's already got a forced fumble today, has injured his chest, and the misfortune of the Shitbirds is piling up in the first 2 minutes of this game. However, the pass was incomplete. 29-yard field goal for Trayvon Enterkey has the Beefers starting 3-0. So the Shitbirds avoid going down a touchdown early. However, Jamaho Tungatung had to sacrifice himself on the effort. We'll get a update on that hopefully sooner rather than later. Most teams have avoided the injury bug lately, and in fact, the Shitbirds, while Justin Truth is cleared to play, the Shitbirds are keeping him off for a game. Otherwise, the Shitbirds are back up at 100%. The last thing they need when they're trying to get on a run this last bit of the season is more injuries. And that was Justin Threadbare stopping the Burt McStabb's return, or other way around, sorry. That was, who was that? My brain got completely shattered, but it is Willie Goman and the Shitbirds offense out there. Phil Stickler in the I formation. That's an interception by Lamar Ritzer. And the ball's loose again. The Shitbirds pick up. Wow. Okay. Okay. That was a lot happening at once. So this was a really terrible Willie Goman light ball. So he feathers it over. He's got Kelsey Ma'auto on the streak route. But what Goman doesn't see, unfortunately, for one reason or another, is Lamar Ritzer is standing there in coverage. And although Ma'auto is in front of the coverage provided by number 47, that's J.K. Jokester, Ritzer gets his hands on the ball. And yeah, who else could it have been? It's Adam Banks. Gets a huge tackle on Ritzer and causes a fumble. And kudos to Oliver Holmes, who gets in there and secures the ball. The Shitbirds avoid their second turnover of the first quarter. And they also cheat an extra set of downs off of that as well. They're at the 23. Willie Goman stepping back to return, and what are these throws? That was Kelsey Ma'auto double covered on a post route, it seemed. And again, it was another really slow, high throw, like a rainbow pass almost. And the Beavers are just converging on it. Willie Goman is a little out of it, it seems. He's in the shotgun beside Phil Stickler for this play, 2nd and 10. After that was knocked incomplete. And, man, a throw to the flat. Look at this coverage from the Beavers. It's incredible. That was Danny Hairline almost getting another interception. And something is up with the Shitbirds offense. Okay, Jamaho Tonga just had the wind knocked out of him on that final defense, so he will be out. No injury at all. Willie Goman taking a long time in the pocket, throwing it deep to a number 11 corner route, and it's caught all the way downfield at the Beavers 25. That is number 11, Silva Goldman, who was out with an injury as a quarterback, has returned as a wide receiver, and he catches a whopping 50, or a huge play there across the field. That was a 52-yarder, and we're at the Beavers 25. Outside pitch to Phil Stickler, but no blocks can be secured. He'll fall forward for a single yard while being tackled to the ground by Justin Threadbare. I think I'm looking at the wrong side all the time because I'm seeing gray and I'm whatever. I got terrible color choices on my notes here. Anyways, ignore who I just said there. Going in the shotgun, 2nd and 9. Split backs, Beavers send a lot, and it's twirling up. What a catch there by James Dingo. I think he'll be a yard short of a first down. He was locked running across the first down line in the stiff arm animation. Once you start a stiff arm in this game, you're locked into it until you hit somebody, regardless of what direction you're running. And sometimes that could be good, sometimes that could be bad, but it'll be 3rd and inches. Goman and pressing the throw here, and he'll be sacked by Alan Yanks. This San Francisco crowd booing that the Shitbirds didn't run for it here. However, it will be a 38-yard field goal attempt for Ken Fudge. And Ken Fudge has tied up the game 3-3 here. And the score currently belies just how crazy this opening has been. The Shitbirds, Justin Threadbare fumbled the return on the first play of the game, like right at kickoff. The Beavers recovered, were held to a field goal by the Shitbirds defense. And on the Shitbirds' ensuing possession, there was a second fumble, or it was an interception, sorry, by Lamar Ritzer, who then fumbled the ball when Adam Banks tackled him, which was then recovered again by the Shitbirds, and one deep pass later, they were able to get down the field instead of a field goal of their own. This is going to be a very peculiar game. I hope you stay tuned through this one. Beavers, after the kickoff, are set up at their own 30. Marcobi Getmore, the lone back, outside pitch. No blocks, however, but he'll turn upfield for a 3-yard gain with Wayne T-Block stopping him down. Beavers at the 32. Marcobi Getmore counter run goes up to the 35 before he stopped. A reasonable gain. That'll bring up a 3rd and medium. The San Francisco crowd, I guess it's all's well that ends well in terms of what could have been a disastrous opening. It's all tied up here 3-all. As the Shitbirds have a good chance here of getting a 3 and out. Masha McEnroe back to throw. Blitz by the Shitbirds. And Greg Trucker gets open all the way at the Shitbirds 45. At least I think that's Greg Trucker. These numbers change all the damn time. I say all the damn time. I think Greg Trucker's been 13 the whole way through, but I'm just grumpy apparently today. Big formation. I form for the Beefers. Marcobi Getmore in Tanner Gorgia Dome. It's a handoff to Marcobi, but it's going to be stopped for no gain by rookie Max Geigenham. Both these teams tied at 4 and 3, sorry, not 5. And if they're able to continue their winning ways, each of their winning ways, they might be able to challenge the Janitors for the division championship. Marcobi Getmore up the middle, a reasonable gain of 4. And the Beefers are really trying to send this ball up the middle and wear down the interior line of the Shitbirds, which is a tall ask. Olatoye Jr. and Alan Yanks, the 2 defensive tackles on the Shitbirds, have done a reasonably great job. Especially recently. 3rd and long for Ash McEnroe. Quick step back on the slant route. It's number 11, Jeremy Owl, to the Shitbirds 30 for a first down as we end the first quarter of play. 3-all here, but the Beefers have momentum and they're within stabbing distance of the Shitbirds red zone. Ash McEnroe's 3rd pass attempt being complete. Both to Jeremy Owl. That first one, I believe, was to Jeremy Owl. Shitbirds blitz and number 58. That is Dante. Rimsitter gets to the quarterback for a sack. Beavers push back to the Shitbirds 34 on a 4-yard sack. Ash McEnroe, I formation with Marcobi Getmore on a counter, and look at that, Jamaho Tungatung, who has returned to play after getting absolutely winded on a goal line defense that was successful, gets a big run stop, and that's going to bring up a 3rd and very long for the Beefers. They've been pushed back all the way to the 34, and they need to get to the 20. Marcobi Getmore, the lone back in a 4 wide receiver set. Shitbirds do not send much pressure, but they don't need much as Alan Yanks, who is on fire this game, gets to the quarterback for yet another time this first half. And so they have Oliver Spicy Brand out to punt, even though the line of scrimmage is at the Shitbirds 40. So perhaps they're thinking that the conditions are not favorable for Trayvon Enterkey, who has a very powerful leg, mind you, and we're indoors here at the Shit House in San Francisco. However, there'll be a very easy inside the 20 punt, and the Shitbirds will get possession at the 16 of their side of the field. 6 minutes and 14 seconds remaining in the second half. In the second quarter, first half. Willie Goman on a play action, and Kelsey Maato wasn't even looking at the ball there. In fact, if that was a deep pass, I think Maato would have had separation on Destin Mystery. Bill Stickler, the lone back. Outside pitch to Stickler. 6'2" tackles on a great 6 or so yard gain outside the numbers. I'll bring up a 3rd and 3. More 3rd and 2.5. Standard set from the Shitbirds here. Nick Pacer, the lone back, and it will be a handoff off tackle, but it will be stopped. And on top of that, Kelsey Maato was hit with a holding penalty, but the Beavers will decline it and put the Shitbirds to 4th down after the run stop, the off tackle. Was stopped. Let me actually go to instant replay to see who stopped that. It is number 92. That is William Simplegraw with a great defense there. Shitbirds to punt. And it's a high punt from Tommy Tatum. Burt McStabs at the 40 to return it, and he'll only step forward a couple of yards before being tackled down. Looks like that was Nick Showers on the play. So Ash McEnroe at their own 44. Great field position for the Beavers after that punt. Throws it and tries to get it to the open Omar Jeltz, but great coverage there by Chad Candy. Slaps it away. It was a good stick route trying to beat the possible man coverage, but the ball thinking it's time to get there, and Chad Candy had all the time in the world to slap that away. Second down after the incompletion. Big formation. Marcoby Getmore, the lone back. Shitbirds only send 4, and it's a nice over-the-middle slant route to Omar Jeltz, who gets quite a bit of yak for a first down and then some. He's going to get it all the way to the Shitbirds 40. Omar Jeltz has really been the Beavers' silver bullet as of late. They acquired Jeltz off of free agency a couple of weeks ago and moved him to wide receiver, the first time he's played the position since Season 1 as Marcoby Getmore goes off tackle to the numbers for a 4-yard gain. Omar Jeltz, a bit of a fan favorite, but hasn't really been played since he is a pretty expensive player, and it's sort of, looking at his stats, you're like, do I really want to pay that much for someone who's fine but has a lot of speed, but is not really exceptional anywhere else? But it's whatever. Ash McEnroe over the middle. Omar Jeltz! Oh my god, that could have been disastrous. So that was either out of Omar Jeltz's fingertips or that was just well defended. We'll go over the middle here. Look at this. That's number 26. That's Marvin Hodgepodge, the free safety. And yeah, Omar Jeltz just a bit off coordination with that. It goes off his forearms, and it nearly gets into Max Geigenham's hands, but he's also off the mark a little bit, possibly not even expecting that bounce. Beavers avoiding a nasty interception there as they're now looking at a 3rd and 5 from the Shitbirds 35. And that's an interception by Justin Threadbare, the former Beaver. Yes, sorry, I'm getting mixed up. Omar Jeltz is a second-year Beaver. He won the Norman Bowl at the safety position. But after realigning the roster, they moved Jeltz to wide receiver. I don't know who I was thinking of. Was I thinking of someone on the Janitors? Anyways, the Beavers throw a turnover deep in Shitbirds territory, and the Shitbirds will get the ball at the 23. It's going to be a draw play for Phil Stickler up the middle. He'll get 5 or so yards off of that one. Very turnover-heavy game with a lot on the line. It's tied 3-3 with 3 minutes and 18 seconds and counting left in the first half. Both of these teams have a realistic chance to possibly steal away the championship from the Janitors. However, if the Janitors win against the Stoats, regardless of who wins here, they will clinch a playoff spot. So look forward to that. The Hellcats have already clinched their spot. That's a slow draw play for Nick Pacer, and that'll bring up 4th down. That was a risky play call, going for the draw out of the shotgun with that far to go on 3rd down. And to be honest, we've actually seen it pay off before here in the league, but the Beavers clogged enough up the middle to stop it. And Tommy Tatum is out to punt from the 30. Lots of hang time on this one, and it goes out of bounds. An excellent punt there by Tommy Tatum over the head of the returner out of bounds. And the Beavers will be stuck. I say stuck, but they'll get possession back at nearly their own 32. And will hit the 2-minute warning after this play. Ash McEnroe looking to give it to Markobi Getmore up the middle. Finds a great hole, and that's almost going to be 10 yards on the run. Well, Markobi Getmore has been stopped fiercely by this run defense. That's possibly the best run he's got all game long. That's 9 yards to the Beavers' 40. 2-minute warning, Ash McEnroe in the shotgun. Shitbirds only send 3. It's a deep pass to the corner, and oh, that might be out of bounds. We'll see if San Francisco challenges this. Jeremy Au running a corner route up the sideline, and it didn't really look like he was in bounds when he caught it, but it will go be reviewed, and we are inside of 2 minutes. So this is not a challenge. This is automatically reviewed. And yeah, that is way out of bounds there, folks. So there's the right foot. That one's already out of bounds, and you don't need good eyesight to see that left foot was way out of bounds. This one's going back. Yeah, the play reversed. The San Francisco crowd cheering. That'll bring up a 3rd and short. Ash McEnroe split back formation, so this could be an outside run play. We'll see how the Shitbirds defend against this. No, it'll turn upside, and it's stopped by Max Geigenham. The handoff to the running back. It's hosed. And so even though it is 4th and inches, the Beefers will get Oliver Spicy Brand out to punt it. We are at the Beefers' own 40. I feel like you should risk it here, honestly. But the Beefers will soak up as much time as possible. They've got at least 10 more seconds to bury here, trying to take resources away from the Shitbirds here in the first half. Second quarter, first half. And there it is. It's a little bit of a shanked punt. I say a little bit. That was a really shanked punt. So it's not going to be as good as a punt as it really should have been from that field position. And the Shitbirds will have fortunate spots at their own 37. Willie Goldman in the shotgun. Throwing it up for Pierre Dumoulin, but it bounces off the head of number 28. That's Mario Grillmaster, the safety. Bounced off the helmet of Mario, and he attempted to reach out and grab it and couldn't. That was a bit of a kooky play. High formation now for the Shitbirds. That's Nick Showers and Phil Stickler in, but Willie Goldman will go back to pass. Beavers send forward. It's over the middle. Intercepted by Destin Mystery. And it's been turnover city here in the first half. Destin Mystery, his first interception of the game after Lamar Ritzer nearly got one earlier. Yeah, Willie Goldman has already thrown 2 interceptions. He's only 2 for 8. And Willie Goldman started really wonkily. And what is going on with any of the passes from any quarterback? Willie Goldman in particular is just predominantly throwing lob passes in every single situation. And it's just causing these, like, edge of your seat moments where just every defender converges on it and it bounces multiple times. This is even Ash McEnroe. That's not even Willie Goldman. Like, there's something in the air tonight. Shitbirds send 4 over the middle pass. It's complete to Greg Trucker to the Shitbirds 35. Beavers use their first timeout with 51 seconds remaining. And neither QB doing incredibly great. Ash McEnroe has thrown 1 interception and is only 4 for 10 as he steps back for nice tight ends. Check down Peter Paladin catching the quick route up the middle. Actually looked like a tight end post, but McEnroe threw it really quickly. The Shitbirds only send 4. That's the kind of play you call up when you think there's going to be like an all-out blitz. But it works nonetheless. 2nd and 3 after the 7-yard reception. Shitbirds send 5, and Ash McEnroe gets tuck rule sacked. Alan Yanks, who's just been playing out of his mind today. Getting his hands once again on the quarterback. Unfortunately, he won't get any points for that one. Just because of how cruel the tuck rule sack is. It'll be 3rd down for the Beefers. They've got 3 yards to go. They're lined up in the I formation. Marcoby Getmore on the draw. Will get 1st down. Squarely on the Shitbirds 25-yard line. Ash McEnroe once again lines up in the I formation. Shitbirds send 5, but they've got an open they got an open Joey Hands. I think I might have said Peter Paladin earlier. That is Joey Hands. Complete to the 14. It's another Ash McEnroe throw, and Jeremy Al catches one for a touchdown on the slants. And this was Justin Threadbare trying to swap back to cover somebody else. He was allowing the safety to cover Jeremy there. But unfortunately, Jeremy catching the ball in the open zone. If Threadbare had stayed on him, that might have been tipped away. But the Beefers score the first touchdown of the game with 19 seconds remaining in the first half. Trayvon Enterkey's extra point is good. We're 10-3 here in San Francisco. Both of these teams with a winning record 4-3 each. Both of them have a realistic chance of battling the Wyoming Janitors for the division championship. Even if the Janitors win their upcoming game, the Beefers more of a chance than the Shitbirds, given point differential. Squib kick here by Trayvon Enterkey. It's a great squib kick as Justin Threadbare has to go backwards to catch it. 15 seconds left. Threadbare returns it to the 30. So Willie Goman in the shotgun. 15 seconds left. Beefers send 3. It's over the middle, and it's intercepted by free safety strong safety, Mario Grillmaster. And that's Willie Goman's 3rd interception thrown, and that is the 4th turnover the Shitbirds have suffered this game. And so the Beefers with 10 seconds left at the Shitbirds 25. McEnroe, play action, gives it back to Marcoby Getmore for a very short completion, and the Beefers use their final timeout with 5 seconds remaining, and they will get the field goal unit out to go up 10 as we go to the locker room. Trayvon Enterkey kicks the field goal. It's 13-3 after Willie Goman's 3rd interception of the first half. And we have 2 seconds left, so the Beefers will kick it back off to the Shitbirds. And while Justin Threadbare does have a pedigree for returning kicks for touchdowns, he has not yet had the opportunity to do so on the Shitbirds. In fact, if you think back all the way to Season 2, Week 1, Threadbare got 2 kick return touchdowns against the Shitbirds in their opening game of the season. And this one is going to bounce out of bounds for a procedure penalty. It is a squib kick, and that's always the threat. The downside of going for a squib kick. Kickoffs need to be in bounds, and if it bounces off, the other team gets it at their own 40. And Goman in the shotgun, 4 wide receivers set. He's going to be throwing a Hail Mary here to try and tie up the game. Blitz from the Beefers, and that was almost another interception for Destin Mystery. So we begin the second half of play. The Beefers will maintain possession of the ball, having won the opening coin toss. Burt McStab's at the goal line to return down the middle. And he'll get taken down by Gary Downson. The Shitbirds only have a singular first down scored this game. The Beefers have a whopping 8. Big formation here from the Beefers. Jacoby Getmore up the middle. Will get 7 yards. Yeah, most of the yardage got in this game has been through the air. That was only the Beefers' 37th rushing yard. That was thanks to a big reception by Jeremy Au. Ash McEnroe gets it to Omar Jeltz almost at the 50 for a big first down completion. And McEnroe up to 100 yards thrown this game, although only making 9 of 16 passes and throwing 2 interceptions. Jacoby Getmore up the middle, and he'll be stopped for a minimal gain. It was Clint McSpeedy making the stop. Jacoby Getmore on another handoff. He's only going to get about 2 yards. This time, Wayne T-Block closing the door. And the Shitbirds have done a fairly good job today at stopping the run. And now McEnroe has a 3rd and long to convert at midfield. Courtney Grumble in as the lone back. Shitbirds, it's a draw play. And Courtney Grumble can't do it. He was close. He was 1.5 yards out. But considering how they didn't have Trayvon Enterkey kick a field goal from this position last time, yeah, they'll get Oliver Spicy Brand out to punt it again. It would be a fairly long field goal, but it's interesting they're not getting Trayvon Enterkey out. There's another shanked punt on the opponent's side of the field. He's really trying to get that coffin, but at least it's at the 22 and not as dreadful as his previous attempt. Shitbirds at their own 22. Willie Goman having a very rough day today. Bill Stickler on the counter run, gets a block, will get an 11-yard run, tackled from behind by Drake Edgewater. Well, this game has been considerably cursed up to this point. It's still very winnable for the Shitbirds. If they can pull a miracle out of their ass against the Stoats last week, certainly try a couple of tricks this game. That was Phil Stickler barreling up the middle for a 4-yard gain. Actually, the referees are calling it 6. Willie Goman in the shotgun. Beefers send 3. And what are these passes, man? I don't get it. Third and 4 for Goman at the 39. High formation, Goman stepping back. Beefers send 4. It's a deep pass, and it's tipped away. Charles Arthur getting credit for the tip away, although Dingo was double covered on the post route. And so Tommy Tatum will come out for his 3rd punt today. Shitbirds with a whopping 4 turnovers so far this game. However, they've been able to avoid disaster, at least in terms of the scoreboard. Burt McStab's making it past the 30 on that return. High formation, 3 wide receiver set. Marcoby Getmore gets it up the middle, and unblocked was Max Geigenham. Off tackle run. This one going for a heck of a lot of yards. Marcoby Getmore getting almost a first down. Reaches his hand out trying to get it. It'll be a 3rd and very short. Actually, no, he does make the first down. What an incredible run play. Beefers move the sticks. They're at their own 43. Y formation. Ash McEnroe trying to get a throw. It was only a quick step back. However, he was ran down, throw out of a sack, incomplete. Second and 10. Omar Jelt's audible. Counter run for Marcoby Getmore, but Max Geigenham gets another run stop. That's his 7th tackle today. They'll bring up a 3rd and long. Ash McEnroe in the shotgun, 4 wide receiver set. Getmore beside him. 2 minutes remaining in the 3rd. Shitbirds send 4. Throw out of a sack as it's number 95 who gets him. That's Clint McSpeedy. And this pass rush from the Shitbirds has just been excellent at not only... Well, I should say just the front 7 in general has been so good at not only stopping the run, but getting to the quarterback to stop the pass once they force it. All the Shitbirds need is their offense to capitalize on these great defensive plays to get themselves back in the game. Threadbare at the 15, and he muffs the kick, and the Beavers recover! Oh no! That's Threadbare's 2nd goof today as a kick and punt returner. Thank you, Beefy, for the prime sub. I thank you for the 13 months of support. And this has just been a disaster on special teams for the Shitbirds. And I think we're about to see Threadbare get the bench. Just get more attempts to get up the middle. He's only going to get 2 yards in the trenches. Joey hands on the move, but it'll be a fullback handoff for only a couple of yards as Tanner Gorgadome appears to have injured his head on the play. He'll be checked out on the sideline for a concussion. It'll be 3rd and medium in the Shitbirds red zone. Empty set, 5 wide receivers here for the Beavers. And Ash McEnroe throwing it and tries to get it. He nearly gets a completion to Dirk Frickner, but he can't quite hold on to it through a tackle. That would have been an insane first down. But it'll be Trayvon Enterkey to try and tack on another 3 points. So the Shitbirds keep it a 2-score game after that defense. Trayvon Enterkey splits the uprights for 3. It's 16-3 here in San Francisco. 28 seconds away from ending the 3rd quarter. The Shitbirds getting back Justin Truth this week, although they still have him sidelined. They haven't assigned him. They're back to full strength. The Beefers are still waiting until week 10 before they get star wide receiver Todd Normal back, who has missed a majority of the season, and Justin Threadbare, who has been very questionable on kick and punt returns, has injured his foot. So one way or another, they're going to get him off that field, and that is very interesting play from Threadbare, who's otherwise been a fantastic pinched nerve for Tanner Gorgerdome. So he won't miss any games, but he will be unable to participate in the rest of today's games. And that's a great run there by Phil Stickler, zigging and zagging up the middle for 9 yards. And that'll end the third quarter of play. The San Francisco Shitbirds have possession of the ball, and they need 2 touchdowns to try and get back in control of this game. And they have 8 minutes to do it. Their defense has been playing reasonably well, but it's been follies on special teams and Willie Goman throwing a lot of interceptions this game that have stifled them. It's also passes like that where that looked good to an awaiting Kelsey Maato on a quick stop route. However, Maato just couldn't get his hands on it. That's going to bring up a 3rd and short. The Shitbirds have only completed a singular 3rd down. They're in the shotgun. They're in the shotgun for this play. Beefers send only 4, and that's going to be number 92, William Simplegraw, getting to the quarterback. And this San Francisco crowd pleading for them to go for it on their own 25. But it'll be Tommy Tatum out to punt. They are down 2 touchdowns, and they are running out of time here. But again, their defense has been far and away the best part of the team today. As Burt McStabbs catches the punts at the 40, makes it almost to the 50. So great field position for the Beefers. If they score a field goal on this play, they'll put the Shitbirds down 3 scores, and that will make a comeback near impossible. Yes, I'm saying that even though I knew how the Shitbirds' last game ended. The handoff off tackle to Marcoby Getmore. He'll get 3 or 4 yards past the 50. Wayne T-Block scoring his 6th tackle of the game. Justin Threadbare broken toe, interestingly enough. That might be his season. We'll have to get updates on that. That'd be terrible for the Shitbirds. Although Justin Threadbare has been a bit of a sore thumb on punt and kick returns, he's been an incredible cornerback. He's been charged with locking down Jeremy Au. Although Jeremy Au has gotten a couple of key completions and a touchdown this game. So do with that information what you will. It's a first down throw to Jeremy Au over the middle. Jeremy Au 4 for 54, first down. We're at the Shitbirds 37. That's a good run by Courtney Grumble up the middle. We get about 6 yards to the Shitbirds 31. It's another handoff. Oh, it's a wide receiver reverse. Omar Jeltz getting 2 yards past the 30. Interesting trickery there, but Jeltz didn't quite have the agility stat to pull it off. However, we've seen a lot of those plays when they do sparingly happen, go for losses, but Jeltz was able to turn that into a small gain. And Courtney Grumble up the middle is stopped by Alan Yanks. He's been having a fantastic day today. 3 tackles. One of them is a sack, and these have all been really key run-stopping tackles. And that's not even counting the at least one tuck rule sack that I can remember. However, if Trayvon Anterkey sinks his field goal for 47 yards, he will put the Shitbirds down 3 scores. And the kick is excellently well placed and made. And the field goal is good. The Shitbirds have a lot of work to do if they want to reverse the fortunes on this one. Kickoff is good. Stepping in for the injured Justin Threadbare, who went out with a broken toe, is number 11, Silva Goldman. Trickery there, but it doesn't pay off. Phil Stickler is tackled for a big loss by Lamar Ritzer. The Shitbirds need to start chucking it downfield, and very soon. 4 minutes and 26 seconds remaining. Big blitz from the Beefers, and that throw thrown way ahead of schedule. Pierre Dumoulin was about to cut on a post route, it seems, but it was just thrown so ahead of schedule thanks to the big Beefers blitz that happened there, the triple B. I'll bring up a quick third down from the Shitbirds. Over the middle, and it's knocked incomplete. J.K. Jokester celebrating, punching out the ball from the grasp of veteran wide receiver Kelsey Maato. And the Shitbirds will punt it away. They are deep on their own side of the field. They needed to make it to the 30 on this 4th and 12. Things are looking dire for the home team. Burt McStabb's getting it to their own 45. The Beefers are defending Normal Bowl champions, and they're certainly having a better season than their previous season in Season 2. It required a masterful end-of-the-season run to get to the playoffs in the first place, where they not only knocked the division winners, the Janitors, out of the playoff round, they also beat the Rollers in overtime. Marcoby Getmore on a big stretch play is only going to get 1.5 yards. And just a testament to how good the run stopping of the Shitbirds have been, Marcoby Getmore has been limited to a 2.6 yards per carry average, as he gets 2 yards to the Beefers' 48 here at midfield. McEnroe back to throw. Shitbirds send 4, steps up in the pocket, tries to get it, and Chad Candy gets his second interception of the game. That's his first interception. Interesting. Could have sworn he had an interception before this. But oh well, none of my business. So the Shitbirds get a fortunate turnover. They're at their own 23. And they're going to still continue running the ball. Phil Stickler with a nice 9-yarder down the middle to around the 32. Shitbirds need 2 touchdowns and a field goal to get back ahead of the Beefers. Suffice to say, a lot of work to do with only 3 minutes to do it. Beefers, everyone's pancaked, but it's going to be a short throw, and James Dingo was pretty much out of bounds when he caught that, although the refs are ruling it inbounds. Yeah, that's going to be, I think that's going to be challenged by the Beefers. No, the Beefers are letting it stand. They do have a lead, and perhaps they don't want to use up their timeouts. Pick your battles, I guess. Goman in the shotgun. It's over the middle to Dumoulin for a short reception. He's chased down from behind by that's Mario Grillmaster. Five-yard reception down the middle. Willie Goman in the shotgun. Beefers send 3. It's over the middle. Intended for James Dingo, but miscommunication on that throw. Dingo not in a position to catch it. They'll be bringing up 3rd down. We are running out of time here for the Shitbirds to get back in this game. They've only made a single 3rd down conversion at all this game. Bowman, empty set. Huge blitz from the Beefers, and it will be a conversion for Kelsey Maotto, who shakes off a tackle and nearly shakes off a second one as he sort of wobbles out of bounds, trying his best to stay in it. Watch this. Maotto on the catch. Boom! Test of mystery on the floor, and he actually picks up a great pancake from tight end Pierre Dumoulin. And another fortunate thing about him stepping out of bounds is we're stopped at 2 minutes and 15 seconds remaining. Bill Stickler lone back. Goman stepping back. Beaver sending 4. It's over the middle, and it is intercepted. And that could be the end of the Shitbirds game. That was Lamar Ritzer catching the ball, but Danny Hairline basically volleyed it into his hands. That was a tag team effort. Let's go to the replay here. Yeah, that was Danny Hairline basically serving it to him. And Willie Goman is just not having a great game. In fact, this whole week has just been a dismal performance from everyone's quarterbacks. We saw Alex Fops just have some of like the worst quarterbacking I think I've ever seen, which led to, what is happening? There's that stuck in the stiff arm animation I was talking about earlier, but this time the guy was running the wrong way as we hit the 2-minute warning. Yeah, we saw an awful performance by not only Alex Fops, but even though Doug Gongshow won, he didn't really have a great performance either. There's something this week that's just causing every quarterback to play like the worst game of football I've ever seen. Please don't leave for the upcoming Janitor Stoats game. Or Kobe Gutmore over the middle to the 30. Shitbirds using a timeout, 1 minute and 48 remaining. And it will be a draw play. Marcoby Getmore getting the first down past the 40. Big play as the Shitbirds use their second timeout. And if the Beefers get one more first down, they should be able to time the Shitbirds out. Good run stop by Clint McSpeedy. In fact, that whole defensive line and Max Geigenham has been working around the clock trying to save this game. Drop play goes nowhere for Courtney Grumble. Now, will the Beefers try going for a pass here? Or will they simply run it anyways? They have Frank Heck in now to relieve the injured Tanner Gorgerdome. And yeah, Frank Heck can't make any progress happen. Olatoya Jr. not only shrugging his block, but getting the big stop. Now the Shitbirds still need 3 scores, and they only have a singular timeout. They're going to not only need to convert 1 onside kick, they're going to need 2. Oliver Spicy Brand to punt, 1 minute remaining. There's a good punt out of bounds. That'll be around the 20. Willie Goman in the shotgun, 56 seconds remaining. Beefers send 4, and it's an interception and a pick 6 for Charles Author. That was to the flat for James Dingo, but he was covered, and that's just another interception for Willie Goman, and that's going to be it for the Shitbirds. So what does this mean for the division? Well, the Beefers now extend their winning streak to 4. They'll be fighting the Janitors next game. And if the Janitors get upset by the Stoats, folks, that could be for the division lead. Or at the very least for the tie. That's going to mean a lot for the Janitors taking on the Shitbirds in Week 10. That's also going to mean a lot for the Week 10 Seattle Civil War. Last year, or not last year, but last season in Season 2, that Seattle Civil War in Week 10 was a win-and-in game. Although it's not looking like it's going to be won this year. It's always a highlight whenever the two Seattle teams go at it. Willie Goman looking to save face with this drive with 45 seconds remaining. Goman with a pump fake gets it to number 16 near the 50. That is Nelly Rockhurst. Yeah, Goman throwing 5 interceptions as Goman fakes a spike. He's got separation. James Dingo will get his touchdown, outrunning Geronte Dunnett. So the Shitbirds attempting to salvage some points out of this one, getting James Dingo some numbers. They'll go for 2 here. Play action, throw out of a sack, no good. Shitbirds will only get 6 on this drive. And so the first onside kick of the game. I don't know if the Shitbirds have used their last timeout yet or not. But they're still down 3 scores. We'll see how this onside kick. It's a high hop, but the Beefers will recover, and that will be game over. So 26-9. So the Beefers will secure second place in the division. And we'll see how the Stoats fare. It's going to be almost a must-win game for the Stoats to try and stay in the race for the playoffs. In fact, with the Beefers at, what will they be after this game? 5-3. I think the Stoats are eliminated from the playoffs if they don't beat the Janitors tonight. Holy crap, okay. Careful, Janitors. You're going to have rabid animals there in Seattle tonight. And that will be the game. Beefers win 26-9 as they secure second place in the division. And yeah, I don't know what happened with Willie Goman. He's been fabulous for the majority of this season. Again, the Shitbirds with a 2-game winning streak entering this game. But, man, the wheels really came off on this one. Yeah, and Justin Threadbare, a broken toe. He'll be out, but for how long, we will have to find out. Marcoby Getmore, 72 yards on 23 attempts, only a 3.1 average, whereas Phil Stickler almost got a 5 average, 4.7, 43 on 9 carries. Our most targeted receiver, Jeremy Ow, really did the business today, but James Dingo, with that last-minute touchdown, puts him over the top for most receiving yards at 64. Adam Banks with a big pancake and a forced fumble. That was a huge play on his part. And Max Geigenham dwarfing everyone else's tackling total with 10 near sacks. Greg Snyder, Dante Rimsitter, and Adam Yanks all getting in sacked. Lamar Ritzer, 2 interceptions. Destin Mystery, an interception. And Mario Grillmaster and Charles Author also with interceptions. So that's 5 for Willie Goman. And Chad Candy and Justin Threadbare each getting an interception. However, Threadbare is going to be out perhaps maybe until the playoff round with that broken toe. We'll see if he's able to play through that, depending on what toe got broken. We might see for the first time a player wearing like a bandaged up foot. That is a thing you can do. So we'll get a diagnosis on that as